Hey everybody, this is Crystal Oliver with Budget Me Black, and we're jumping on tonight. I'm your new favorite financial coach, and we are talking tonight about why you should get your credit fixed. Besides just to buy a house, a lot of us, we try to get our credit fixed, and we think only reason why we want our credit right is because we want to buy a new house, right? And so there are different reasons why you should get your credit fixed. So we invited Phelan Grant tonight. He is the CEO of New Prosperity Credit, and he's going to answer all our questions tonight about credit and why we should work on our credit, get it fixed, build it, rebuild it, whatever it is that you have questions about. We're going to answer those questions tonight. And of course, we try to get as many answers in as we can, but sometimes we don't get them all in. So we might have to invite Phelan back if we can't get them all in. But thank you so much, Phelan, for being with us tonight.
Hey, thank you, Crystal, for inviting me to your platform tonight. So I'm glad to be here and glad to be a part of the Budget Me Black family tonight. All right.
Thank you. Thank you. This summer series has been the bomb. We have had some amazing speakers on, and they've been talking about everything from having commercial property, and we talked about the earned income tax credit, the child tax credit that everybody's getting. And so tonight we're going to talk about credit. So Phelan, I'm going to jump right in, start asking you some questions. So number one question, what's so bad about bad credit?
What's so bad about bad credit? How much time do we have, Crystal?
Well, we'll be out here as long as you need to be.
Okay. All right. Well, look, a few things that come to my mind when we talk about why is bad credit so bad. First of all, it's so expensive. You know, people don't realize you pay a lot more for things because of bad credit, like home loans, car loans, even car insurance, things like that. You just pay more for the price of having bad credit. Like, Crystal, what's one of your favorite cars?
Oh, so me and Derek, we are frugal most of the time, but we love the Toyotas. So I love a Toyota Sequoia.
All right, you know, look, my mom's a big Toyota fan. Not the truck. She likes the smaller car, but she only drives Toyotas. But look, let's just show you a quick example. Let's just say we get that same Toyota Sequoia, and I'm getting 1.99 interest rates, and you're getting maybe upwards of double-digit interest rates, maybe 10, 12, 16%. It happens, right? We're going to be driving the same car, putting up at the same light. My note may be around 400. You may be paying around 800. You know, so it's really expensive to have bad credit. A lot of people don't realize that. And here's the other thing, Crystal, is also emotionally draining. You know, and it's a barrier between you and your desires, which can lead to depression. It can lead to anxiety. And I'm all about inspiring people to feel good and to live their best life. So look, if this pandemic has taught us anything, is that life is short. And so I really want everybody to be able to level up to where they want to be and to be able to get the things that they want to get out of life. And the last thing when you talk about bad credit being bad, look, bad credit, it's your reputation, okay? It's your credibility. We've all had a friend or two, maybe one friend wants to borrow money. Another friend likes to borrow money too, but we know one particular friend is going to always pay us back on time. We got to keep in mind that when we're going to get loans, these people don't know you. You know, so this is how they judge you. This is your credibility. This is your reputation. They pull their report and they try to sum up what they think about you. It's not always fair. You know, you may be a great person. You may go to church every Sunday. You may volunteer every Saturday, but all that doesn't matter. It all depends on what's going to be in that credit report and how they see you. So those are the reasons that I think, you know, about bad credit being bad and some things that we need to change.
That's good. That's a great answer because, you know, the example you gave that we all ride in the same cars, we all have the same desires, and some of us are paying way more for the exact same thing because we have bad credit. And so some good people, another thing, good people do have bad credit.
All day, every day.
All day, every day. So our goal is for good people to have good credit.
That's right. That's right.
when you like you said, people don't know you. They don't know your character. All they know is the sheet of paper that's in front of them, and that sheet of paper is your track record as far as they are concerned as to whether or not you're gonna pay them back. So that's really good. What have you found over your years of helping people get their credit fixed? What have you found to be some of the top issues that we have, with our credit?
You know what, Crystal, the answer I'm going to give you is probably going to surprise you. The things that I find out to be the most has nothing to do with the credit report or the credit score. The thing that I see the most that keeps us down credit-wise, it's our mindset. Okay? When you look at things, the things you look at will change. So it's all about the mindset. And number two is the lack of knowledge about credit. We make it a whole lot harder than it has to be. It's not rocket science. It's just about knowing the steps, all right? And you hear people say that knowledge is power. So number three, I'm going to say it's not knowledge is power, it's applying the knowledge.
Yes, that's good.
Enough to know, we can have, we have people all the time that go to classes and things like that, but if you leave out the classroom and don't apply anything, what have you accomplished? So that's what I'll say. It's mindset, it's the lack of knowledge, and then a lack of applying the actual knowledge that you receive.
That's so good, because I know a lot of times there is so much free information out there, right? So none of us, if you're looking at YouTube University and you're watching, Financial Freedom Friday with me on Fridays, you have all the information that you need. It's all about going and taking this information and applying it and having a little bit of self-discipline. I'm working with some people now. We're talking about budgeting, and I have to remind them, don't forget, you're on your budget this week. It's just really having some accountability, and also having the information, applying the information, and then putting yourself in a position where somebody is holding you accountable to that. And so, or you holding yourself accountable to it. So that's really, really good. What is a good credit score? We see all these numbers and it's sort of like, what in the world is a good credit score?
Well, look, most of the time when you ask somebody what's a good credit score, most of the time everybody's going to say, I want to be in the 700 club. Get me to 700. So that's the number that people usually relate to when it comes to good credit. But it just depends on what it is that you're trying to get. Whether it be a home or a car. Sometimes you can get a lot of these things with 600 credit scores as well, but you definitely want to be above 700 at least, and optimally be around 760. So a lot of times, a lot of people think I want to get to 800, but really by the time you get to 760, it's nothing that you can't get with 760 that you can get with 800.
And you can get those good rates too, huh?
Great interest rates. It's they're gonna be giving away money then. So yeah, you want to be able to control how much you're gonna be giving back to them. So yeah, definitely when you talk about a good credit score, we definitely want to look to get in the 700s. Like I said, there's some variables in there depending on what you're trying to get, but that's the goal that you're starting to get at first, about 700.
Right. So how do they come up with the score in the first place?
All right.
You look at these credit reports and it's like 500 lines of information, and then you just trying to figure out what in the world are they talking about? So how in the world do they decide what our credit score is in the first place?
Yeah, well, look, you're right. When you're looking at a credit report, it can look very intimidating, but usually when you talk about what does it take, you really want to look up like a credit pie chart. Those are the 5 variables that is going to make up your credit report. And so you have 35%, which is going to be your payment history. All right. You have another 30%, which is going to be like your credit utilization or amounts owed. And look, I'm going to stop right there real quick, Crystal. We just talked about the first biggest piece of the pie is payment history. And the second biggest piece of the pie is credit utilization. Now, that's 65%.
Right.
All right. So I tell people to start there. If you can focus on these 2 things, the rest of it is going to kind of happen organically. So after that, you also have 15% of length of history. You have 10% credit mix. You want to have a good mixture of revolving accounts and installment accounts. And then you also want to keep your new inquiries to a minimum. But those are the 5 things that make up your credit report that drives your credit score. And so again, the most important thing is payment history and that credit utilization. If you take care of those 2 things, they'll help you succeed. But if you ignore them, you're gonna pay dearly for it.
Yes, I have. As I've been helping people, those are the two things that I'm like, okay, let's get your bills paid on time, right?
Yes.
Let's get your bills paid on time. And then those credit cards, if you've been listening to me at all, get those credit cards down below that 30% utilization. And so I
Exactly.
always teach that, and that was gonna be my next question. So you already answered it. It's sort of what is the first thing they need to do to just on your own that you can start doing is paying your bills on time. Don't ignore that stuff that come in the mail. Don't ignore those bills. Pay your bills on time and then get that utilization down to a rate that's good for you percentage wise. How long does it take to start seeing changes? So let's say I hire someone. Well, let's go with the first question. Why should I hire somebody? We talked about applied knowledge, and some of us we'll run with information, with the free information, And so why should I hire someone to help me with my credit?
Well, the first thing that I say, that's a personal choice. I know sometimes money may be a factor and people want to try to do it on their own, and I totally support that. But the thing that a credit expert or credit professional can do, like you said earlier, Crystal, when you're looking at the credit report, it really looks like Greek.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but a credit expert, we can break down a credit report almost instantly, look for inaccurate things, inconsistencies across the 3 bureaus and things like that. And also we know how to apply the different laws, like the Fair Credit Reporting Act, the Fair Debt Collecting Practices Act, things like that we can use to help challenge on the client's behalf. So it's just a lot of things. It's just not about writing a letter to say, TransUnion, this is not mine, Ain't never before, right, Crystal?
We've all tried it at least once, right?
All tried it. And look, you may have some success sometimes with it, but the thing about having a professional to do it is basically they're just going to know the ins and outs of the credit game more so than a regular consumer. But also, when you hire somebody, let me say this too. Regardless of who you hire, if you try to do it on your own, Crystal, you know this, it's a relationship, all right? So when you're hiring somebody, don't think you can just put your money down and you keep on doing the bad habits that you've been doing. So hiring a credit professional, he's also should be an educator. He should be a cheerleader.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, he's going to be your coach. And a coach is going to push you to do things even when you don't feel like doing them, to keep you on track. Right. So those are my reasons for hiring a professional to help you with your credit. But at the end of the day, if money is an issue, I just hate to see people stuck in a bad situation. If you want to do it yourself, that's just fine. I just want to see you moving starting today. If it's a problem for you, just make the move that you need to do to make sure that you stay on top of your credit.
That's good. That's good. And how long, people, they are hire credit professional, right? Yeah. And then 30 days, they want their credit. 30 days, 60 days. Look, 90 days at the most. They want to be at 700. So how long for it to start increasing? If I hire somebody, how long does it take? Or even if I decide to do it on my own, what is sort of like average time frame in which you see somebody's credit start to increase?
Okay, Crystal, that's a very subjective question, but that's the first thing everybody always asks, and so I would usually say you can start seeing results in as quick as 30 to 45 days. But it also depends on the relationship that we talked about earlier. See, credit repairs is kind of twofold. It's kind of like you need to start getting rid of negative items, but you also need to be increasing the positive items that you have. So you can see results in as early as 30 to 45 days, but most of the time, depending on how many negative items the client has, it could take up to like 6 to 9 months. You have some clients that have 2 or 3 things. You have some clients that have 30 to 40. That's just the reality of it. But the thing about it is you just want a credit professional that's going to be open and upfront with you. And I'd rather overpromise, under-promise and over-deliver rather than over-promise and under-deliver. Okay.
All right, and then I'm going to ask you like 1 or 2 more questions. What are the best habits to have to maintain a good score? What are some of the best habits that you should have to maintain a good score?
The best habits, first of all, is discipline. And like we talked about earlier, we talked about the two biggest pieces of the pie. You want to pay on time every time.
Mm-hmm.
In this industry, I've had clients that have had great success. They'll start to feel a little comfortable. And then halfway through the process, they're like a month or two away from meeting their goals, and they'll allow a late charge to come on. So definitely paying on time and also keeping your credit utilization down. Those are the two biggest things to making sure that your credit score kind of stays on the high side.
Good, good. And then one last thing I'm gonna ask you for tonight, and then I'm gonna get out the way, is how I heard people talk about, a lot of us, we've heard people talk about good credit, good debt, and bad debt, right? And so it's sort of like, I wanna, you know, what is considered good debt, what is considered bad debt, and then how does that affect my credit?
Okay, well, look, I'm from the family of rich dad, poor dad. So his philosophy is bad debt is going to be anything that takes money out of your pocket.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be something that puts money back into your pocket.
Mm-hmm.
A good example, let's just say I use debt to buy a real estate property, but now I'm getting income from that real estate property. That would be an example of good debt. Now, bad debt to me would be, a lot of times we like to go buy the expensive bags, expensive name brand clothes. And I tell my clients, you know, once you get your credit score up, I want you to enjoy yourself. It's perfectly okay to buy some of those things, but don't use all of your credit just for that purpose. I try to coach them to use other people's money to get you some more money.
Right, right. So, you know, a lot of times we talk about turning liabilities into assets. That's the one big thing people are starting to talk about. And so that was one of the things that, you know, just kind of listening to you tonight is taking what could be a liability and buying a house, renting it out, or something like that. It's ways you can even rent your car out these days. You turn your liabilities that you have, what could potentially be a bad debt, and turn into an asset, making it a good debt. All right.
That's it.
How do people, if anybody want to get in touch with you, how do people get in touch with you?
They can reach me on my website, is newprosperitycredit.com. And they can also reach me by phone at 901-300-4949. You can also look at me on Facebook at Phelan Grant and New Prosperity Credit, and also on Instagram at my name, Phelan Grant, and also at New Prosperity Credit.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Phelan, for jumping on with me tonight. And y'all know how to reach me. You can reach me at budgetmeblack.com. I hope most of your questions were answered, but whatever you don't have the answer to, I'm sure one of us can help you. So you can reach out to me, or you can reach out to Phelan. And we love to hear from you. We love to help you and support you. So y'all have a good night. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Crystal.
All right.